Amazing streamer, I've said it, so you can't say you aren't now. It's funny because we're gonna talk about my brain. I know I don't have many people that come to the beginning of streams at the minute. Like, the thing is, I always laugh with Warted that I could do the thing that Steve does and talk for hours, but the beginning of my stream is usually, like, the quiet time. Like, most of my viewers show up about midday-ish, so there's not usually many people around at the beginning of the day. But I want to talk about something that I've been thinking about. So I can cut it out and put it on YouTube later today. And then people can go and watch it if they want to, you know? People can go and watch it if they want to. Warted? Warted's not here. Wait, is Warted here? Warted's not here. Warted's in the office today. We won't see Warted. Your brain? Yeah, my brain. So, I don't know if any of you know what's happened at, like, the BAFTAs. Like, with the guy with Tourette's. I don't know if you guys know anything about that. But, like, I've known of this guy, like, most of my life. I don't know if Alice is the same, but when I was in school, when I was a teenager, you had... I think it was, like, season 3 or 4 of Big Brother had this guy called Pete on it, who, had Tourette's syndrome. And obviously, because we were teenagers, we did the very South Park thing of everyone thought they had Tourette's so they could get away with swearing, you know? Like, it's just a thing that happened. It was just a thing that happened. And I'm pretty sure back then, in the, like, mid-noughties, when I was a teenager, like 2003, 2004, we watched a documentary on this man. I'm pretty sure we did. You're welcome in, Domo. I hope you're doing well. Sorry, we're gonna talk about brains right now. It's very boring. You can all talk amongst yourself or go watch someone more interesting. We're talking about my brain. It's gonna be very boring. RE9 is coming out within 1 day time. I know. We being zombies. I'm pretty much a zombie today. I had multiple panic attacks last night about something stupid. And then I had a panic attack this morning about the same thing the minute I woke up. It was horrible. My life is turned into panic about stupid things. Brains. Brains. Yeah, well, I don't have much of a brain. But yeah, so I've known of this guy. He's called John Davidson, I think, for most of my life. And he went to the BAFTAs because the film about his life won some BAFTAs, so he was there as a guest. And he said some not nice things because of his Tourette's, and that's a whole drama. We're not talking about the drama, but I did start reading some comments and stuff about it, because at first I didn't know what happened. Then I found out it was him, and I was like, oh, this makes more sense. And then I was like watching like TikToks and stuff of people trying to explain the condition he has, because he doesn't just have Tourette's. He has like a really rare form of Tourette's. I don't know what it's called. It's like coprolalia or something, which basically means his brain is hardwired to say the most inappropriate and offensive thing at any given time. So, like, he's the kind of person that would go into an airport and scream, "I've got a bomb," or like get into a car with a kid and say, "I'm a pedophile," right? Like, his brain is just hardwired to do that. And obviously, he said some things that he shouldn't. Well, I don't want to say he shouldn't have said. No one wants to hear those words. I doubt he wanted to say those words. But it got me reading about the brain stuff, right? Like, it got me reading about it because his brain is just hardwired to do that. And I was like, I've never thought about things like that. Mainly because I don't have Tourette's, so I've never had to think of things like that. But then it brought it back to, like, bipolar disorder, right? So anyone here that knows me, especially anyone that's been here this weekend and the last week and heard me whine constantly about addiction problems and stuff, my brain is very weird. And it's probably because I'm riddled with spice, right? I'm bipolar. I have, like, every anxiety disorder under the world, especially social anxiety. And that plays into the fact that I'm autistic, so I don't have, like, normal social cues anyway. Anything that is, like, thought of as normal. And I don't mean like being a normal, but like normal things that people understand. I just don't understand at all, right? Like it was like when my 5-year-old niece once told me, when Ash was just a babe at 5 years old, and she was like, Auntie Anna, I don't understand why you don't have that many friends. All you have to do is go up to people and say, be my friend, and they'll be your friend. And I was like, even as a child, I never thought of that. And I still don't do it to this day as an adult because it's terrifying. And making friends seems like a much more complicated matter than the 5-year-old made it seem. And when it technically isn't, you know? Most of my friends make friends by going to someone and being like, you're cool, I want to be your friend. And then they make friends, whereas I sit there and have a panic attack that they might hate me in a year's time and then don't make friends. You know? But my brain is just like hardwired in such a negative way that it's self-destructive. And it's been hard trying to figure that out in the last couple of days. I was reading about this guy with Tourette's. It's like, I'm not trying to compare my problems with someone with Tourette's, but obviously the mental health funding in the West Country is so poor that my doctors kind of was like, well, we can have 3 30-minute sessions for your agoraphobia, and that's it. And now nothing's worked. We don't have any more funding to really care about you anymore. So, like, I've had to, over the last 5 years, basically, try to figure out what's going on in my brain by myself. And then, like, reading about the Tourette's thing and how, like, their brains just misfire and have really weird connections that make them do these things. I'm like, that's just like how my brain is, because the minute something good happens, my brain automatically tries to find the best way to make it miserable for me, right? That, like, it genuinely will look at the best thing happening in my life and instantly go, how can we ruin that in the fastest time possible? And it's crazy. It's crazy that that's how my brain works, but it is how it works. I have extremely self-destructive tendencies, and it is one of those things that, like, you'll sit there and be like, oh, I like this. And then that voice in the back of your head goes, well, how do we destroy it? And the more you're like, please don't destroy it, I'm having a good time, your brain will make it worse. To the point that then you completely self-destruct, like Annakuma behind me is, and that's it. Like you can't go back. If you don't struggle against it, you'll still piss people off and mess things up. But maybe not as bad as if you struggle against it. You know? And it's just hard because, like, for me, it's that setting point. Everyone has a setting point when things happen. When they get upset, when they get addicted to something, there's that point where it sets in. And I feel my tolerance to it setting in is so much lower than most other people's. Like, my brain will set into these things within an hour or two. Because I remember the first week of my agoraphobia, the doctor that I was talking to at that point was like, the one thing we can't let happen is to have the agoraphobia set in. And this was like on day 3. And I turned around and I thought to myself, but it's already set in. Like, isn't it like an automatic thing? Don't you just automatically become agoraphobic overnight? Because that's what it was for me. It's set in. I can't do all these things he's asking because it's set. And it's like the stuff I've been talking about recently with the streams that I've become addicted to. It didn't take a week of streams for me to become addicted. I was addicted by the end of the first stream. My brain chemicals had already decided this was our life at the end of stream 1. So when it became a big problem because it was a problem for the person streaming, my brain was already on that journey regardless, you know? And it's one of those weird things where I'm like, I don't know. My brain is too spicy. There's too many bad things going on in my brain all at once that I can't regulate anything. And it makes every other problem so much worse because I can't think like a normal person or like anyone else. I just instantly, my brain looks for a way to make every situation in my life miserable. And I don't know why my brain's like that. I don't know why it's like that. But it's hardwired to be like that, and it's scary that it's like that. Making friends is so hard, it feels. I don't think I've ever really had a proper friend in my life. That's the sad thing. I don't think I've ever really had a friend. Making friends is easy, but finding the right friend is hard. We need very different lives. I don't know how I make friends. I'm just there, and then suddenly friend. If not friend, why friend-shaped? I don't know. It's been a whole thing to, like, look into it and try to figure out why brains do brain, and why my brain has always been so broken. Do horns equal friend-shaped? Sure. I mean, it depends on what you're into, right? It depends on what you're into. I don't know, it's just tough. As I said, I guess I was looking into the Tourette stuff. Not for any reason other than I just found it interesting. It was like the topic of the week, and I found it interesting, and I was getting angry at people not really understanding Tourette's. And then I realized that I might not understand Tourette's as well as I thought I did, so I went to look into it. And I found out about the, I don't remember it, I think it's like coprolalia or something. I found out about that and the brain, like, transmissions being all fucky and all that. I was like, I can relate. Not to what he's going through, but I can relate to a brain just not doing what it's meant to do. Like, I feel I'm constantly in fight and flight, and my brain just instantly decides to flight, run, go, stop, don't do these things, which probably makes a lot of sense why I fail as a content creator, because when things get tough, I hide away instead of just fighting on. And it's why, like, because even away from other people, like, a lot of my friends right now, or, like, people I know, my stream team are doing a Final Fantasy XIV thing where they restarted characters and started from the beginning together. Bunches of people are doing either WoW Classic or WoW Retail at the minute, with the TBC server launching and the Midnight expansion coming out. Like, everyone's in the MMO sphere at the minute, and that's the perfect place for me to go and try to be social. But I just know I won't, because the last time I went back to Final Fantasy XIV in, like, December/January, which isn't that far ago. It feels like forever, and it also feels like January was just yesterday. But when I went back to it, all I did was sit in Limsa Laminza, run dungeons on my own, and cry because I knew I could never talk to anyone. Like, very often I hear people talk about how people like me are our own worst enemy, and that's true. It is true. We're our own worst enemy. I get that. But it also comes from a place where I don't think they understand that some people like me, our brains just don't allow us to do the things that we want to do to make us happy. Because everyone told me, if everyone I know is playing WoW right now, and you used to like playing WoW, and it would make you happy, go play WoW. Why haven't I played WoW? Because one, I know I'll become addicted, and that will become a problem for my stream. And two, I know I won't talk to anyone. I know, like, I have friends in North America, friends in Europe. I have people all over the place playing WoW. I would not play with a single one of them. The only reason I ever played with people in Final Fantasy XIV was because they were in my stream, and they would just come and find me and join me. I won't do that myself. Even if I could sit there with a message typed in chat saying, do you want to do a dungeon? And I know that people would say yes. Won't do it. Because in my mind, it would just be bad. It would just be bad. It's like my brain just is coded to make me lonely. And it's a sad life to live. Which also means that I'm probably doing the right thing from being less social anyway. Because if I want to concentrate on other things that my brain does not like trying to leave the house again and doing the content and all that, then maybe I should stop. Maybe I should stop trying to be social and make friends and focus on the things that are much easier. Nothing's easy. But yeah, I'm basically thinking of giving up watching Twitch and YouTube for a bit. For a bit, I mean most of this year probably. I'm thinking of going completely off the grid and just show up for my streams and do my YouTube and hope for the best. And then fail because part of being a streamer is being social, but I can't do it. And I'm driving myself insane trying to be social. And my brain's driving me insane trying to be happy. And all I'm doing is giving myself prolonged panic attacks for like 5 hours a night. And then waking up to a panic attack. And that's all about parasocial stuff. That ain't even actual social stuff. That ain't even like, oh, I gotta go and see a friend in their stream. Oh, I'm gonna have a panic because my social battery's out. That isn't even anything important. I'm having panic attacks about stupid things, you know? But yeah, that is my whole 20-minute rant about my brain. Thank you for coming. A $10 Alf believes in you, Anna. Thank you, Yarrow. Good morning, Yarrow. I don't want this to be like I'm whining and being negative again. It was an interesting thing that I was thinking about like last night and today. Because I've just been reading about the Tourette stuff, obviously. And it kind of made sense of a bunch of stuff. If my brain misfires and my brain doesn't understand normal things... and therefore, it's just very broken. It makes sense. And it makes me feel a little better that I am struggling possibly against a very unbalanced brain that just wants me to be miserable all the time. But I need to choose my battles. And I don't know what battle I'm going to choose. I don't know what battle I'm going to choose. So if I disappear for long periods of time, blame my brain. It wouldn't matter. No one would notice. That wouldn't matter. Shall we get on with some actual gaming instead of me complaining? Instead of me complaining. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. How are you doing, Lily Arrow? How are you and Alf today? This is the first game. Yo, good morning, Cursive. How are you doing today, my friend?